Hello everyone and welcome back guys to the SRL Classics League, and today we are here at a very soggy Austria and in the Ferrari F2002. Now I'm going to leave you on board with my fastest qualifying lap first of all. Wasn't a particularly brilliant lap, felt there was easily another half second to come out of the car, but hopefully you enjoy this V10. So over the line we go, and it is going to be P3 on the grid there, which really, not the ideal start for me. I've started P2 and P1 so far this league, so P3 a little bit further down the order than I probably would have liked there. Jack able to take pole ahead of a Langman there with myself third and STSF1 Bottas in P4. But yeah, it's certainly far from over, my dry pace I felt really confident with coming into tonight's race. But yeah, hopefully we can get a nice clean start, and then we'll just see where the Grand Prix leads us. But on the grid then, ready, and it was actually dry for this Austrian Grand Prix there, so quite ideal that we don't end up spending most of the day trying to fight the back end. When in this car, if it doesn't grip up, then it just doesn't grip up. But here we are then on the grid, ready for the Austrian Grand Prix. It is 5 lights here, and it is lights out, and away we finally get going there. Actually, after a pretty damn decent start, Langman is going to get a slightly better start than Jack as well. So down in towards someone, they're going to be side by side, and they make a bit of contact actually in the corner there. Langman really tried to lean on Jack as they went into the corner there. He moves now up into the race lead as he does now have the inside into turn 1, and we're going to try and look right around the outside of Jack there in towards turn 2. He's going to have a look down the inside of Langman there, and we're going to go for a cheeky bit of a switchback move on Jack there. Now move up into P2 myself, so that has not been the start he needed. P3 now after starting on at pole position there, but we're now up into P2 of the Grand Prix, and now we're going to try and, Jack thinks about going for a move actually down the inside of me there, so he then goes back up the inside. We're able to get a slightly better run on the exit of the corner there, move back up into P2 of the Grand Prix there. But yeah, myself and Langman, it was going to be tight between us, so our dry pace was looking pretty damn similar coming into this race, and obviously he's an AOR Tier 1 driver, so it'd be nice for myself to prove, against someone who is obviously in that sort of a high league. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see if I'm able to keep up with him over the next few laps as we come through the final couple of corners to finish lap 1 here. And it's, overall, it's been a decent start there. And now, it was mainly just going to try and keep up with Langman over these next few laps and skipping on now to the end of lap 3 here. And we were actually closing in on him ever so slightly. The gap to Jack behind was actually getting a bit bigger as well, which is reassuring. He's my main championship rival at the moment. He's got a 6-point advantage coming into this race, so it's going to be crucial that, we try to outscore him here. But breaking down in towards someone, using all that outside curb as we possibly can on both the entrance and the exit there, and now coming up the hill. We've got a bit of a better run than Langman here in the slipstream as well. He's going to go very defensive into the corner. We're going to try and have a look to the outside there. He does make a tiny bit of contact with me as I try and go right around the outside of him, but unfortunately the back end doesn't grip up there, nearly go into the back of him, but somehow just about able to keep it facing the right direction there. But it's clear at the moment, we have got that pace to be fighting for the race lead here, and hopefully, we can just try and keep up with him as we now move on to the end of lap 11 here. We're lapping OMG, it's Joe already in this race. Not really too sure what's happened to him. He's also an AOR Tier 1 driver there, so not really too sure what has gone on for him during this race. But yeah, this is really costing Langman and I just that bit of time that we don't really want to lose here. Myself running a bit wide on the exit curbs there. Just going to try and get a little bit of a better run using the rich revs as much as we possibly can. Joe then peels off to the inside there, give us the positions, well, the track space, if you will, as we go up to the top of the hill now. And I'm all over the back of Langman still at this moment in time, you know, just going to try and get any opportunity that does open up for myself. You know, we're so similar on pace. I do feel quicker at the moment, you know. If we can get ahead, I want to try and, you know, be able to make a little bit of a gap over him, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see if, you know, an opportunity does arise, because, you know, he's doing very well on his defending at the moment. I'm not exactly, you know, the most aggressive of league races nowadays, so, you know, not going to go for too many risky moves there, but he runs a bit wide through turn 5 and turn 6. We're going to be able to get a bit of a better run there. We're going to have a look down the inside in towards the final couple of corners here. We're going to have the inside. We're going to have the track position there. We're going to run it all over the curbs nicely on the exit there. Langman did actually back out of it there. Hence, you know, I was on the inside. It was my track position. So, you know, if he tried to hold it there, I probably would have to squeeze him out wide just a bit there. But yeah, now up into the lead of the race. Well, into the lead of the race even. And this is exactly the position we need to be in now. And, you know, now we need to try and push to try and get just a bit further ahead of him. You know, try and make a bit more of a gap, but as we skip a little bit further on around this lap here, and Langman, you know, he's not giving up just yet, and as we come through turn 4 and turn 5, I've attacked the curbs way too much there, and, well, I've completely bottled it. Credits to Langman and Joe, they did a brilliant job able to avoid me there, but that was the absolute bottle of the century. Last week, you know, if you did remember that, I completely bottled it there as well, so to do it again, you know, this is just not what I need. I do, you know, want to be fighting for the championship here, and, you know, it's going to be absolutely critical that I do not make mistakes like that over, you know, the rest of this race. But I'm going to go for a bit of an interesting strategy call here. I'm going to pit now onto a fresh set of the tyres here. Going to try and drag them to the end and ideally, you know, go for a bit of an undercut on Langman. And I think it's Active Beacon now up into P2 there. So a little bit more ideal that Jack is down in P3. He's got a 6-point advantage over me coming into this race. But yeah, this pit stop was just under 3 seconds there, which is fairly standard in this game. But these next couple of laps are going to be absolutely critical, you know, really need to push to try and close back up to the top 3. You know, I was probably about 4 or 5 seconds behind him after that mistake there, so really, you know, gonna have to try and push these next few laps to the absolute limit. And as we now move on to the end of lap 16, that was exactly what I intended to do. So going on in 1 minute 8.5 there, the quickest lap of the race by over half a second there, and this is, you know, exactly what I need to be doing as we now skip on to lap 19, setting the fastest lap once more. And the final couple of guys now are coming out of the pit lane here. So Jack is going to come out right behind Active Beacon here. And, you know, Langman's still got a couple of seconds lead, but we're not so far off the lead as we were before we opted to make that pit stop there. So clearly, you know, the strategy has actually, you know, worked out quite nicely for myself. We're still in P4 in at this Grand Prix, but the top 4 during this race are so tightly bunched. You know, it was going to be, you know, a massive fight towards the end of this Grand Prix. And as we now skip on to lap 21 here, trying to, you know, I'm not willing to give up on this race win. You know, I still want this, you know, as much as possible, and we're going to think about going for a move down the inside into the second last corner, just like we tried to do on Langman there. Back out of it, as you know, we just didn't have enough of the car alongside. We're getting a much better run out of the final corner there, pushing Jack down the start-finish line there. Credit where credit's due, he gave me the space on the outside when I went for it there. Just break that tiny bit later in towards someone. Don't get the car hooked up on the apex there, but we go right around the outside of Jack through turn 1 there, now up into P3 of the Grand Prix, and now we've got to try and close in on Active Beacon and Langman, who are just a couple of seconds up the road, but now they're fighting as well. Not really too sure what's happened to Langman here, as you know, he had probably about 1-2 second you know, advantage at the front of the field. As we now skip on to the end of lap 23, you know, these two are all over the back of each other at the moment, you know, trying to go for that race lead. And my strategy here is, you know, sort of try and hold back if an opportunity did arise. You know, I didn't really want to overtake one. It was either going to be both or neither, really. As you can see, they're side by side. Langman just shutting the door in towards turn 1. I'm focusing on making sure if, you know, they make contact, lose each other a bit of time, that I can try and go for a bit of a slingshot move here. You know, conservatism is going to be key over these next couple of laps. But Active Beacon, Langman completely moves across in there, so Beacon's going to send one up the inside. A lot of contact made between the pair of them. I tried to go for the undercut through the corner there, but unfortunately for me, not able to make that work as of now. And they say Active Beacon now is in a drag race with Langman. He takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Langman tries to break that a little later. I think Beacon locks up his rear axle. There's contact between the pair of them there, and they've completely taken each other out. Myself and Jack were very lucky not to get involved in that. I think Active Beacon actually made contact with my side there, but fortunately for me, not getting any damage from that. Jack as well managing to thread the needle between the pair of them there, and that was absolutely crucial for my race. Back up now into the lead. I'm going to leave you on board with my fastest lap of this race as well. And Jack unfortunately got a bit of front wing damage, which meant that he just dropped back very, very far behind me. But yeah, I'll leave you on board with my fastest lap of the race. But now, yep, skipping on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. I think, you know, the final results will tell a very, very different story to how this race really ran. But yeah, back up now into, well, in the race lead, you know, we were just able to hold it on right through to the very end. And as we come through the final few corners of this Austrian Grand Prix, you know, a 20-second lead after all of that was, you know, quite, you know, bizarre, if you will. And yeah, after a spin out as well, you know, I thought once I'd made that mistake, you know, that the race was entirely over for myself. But coming through the final couple of corners, though, we're going to win round 3 of the SRL Classics and retake the championship lead by 1 single point. But in the end there, obviously, the result that I really, really needed. As I said, overtaking Jack by 1 point overall in the championship now. I think I'm on 62 to his 61 points there. Not too sure who's in third at the moment. I think it might be Active Beacon. But yeah, hopefully, you know, you guys have enjoyed this video. Do not forget to like, subscribe if you want to see more of these, you know, SRL Classic League highlights on the channel. But back into the championship lead. Ideally, you know, want to try and hold on to that for the next few rounds. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time for, I think, it's the Renault at Hungary.